guys, today I'm going to be telling you guys my tips for visiting the catacombs of Paris. And I've come to realize that not even a lot of people even know about the catacombs of Paris. So if you've never heard of them before, it's a really cool burial site for over 6 million skeletons. And if you go there, you can learn more about the history of it. But basically, they were moved in the 19th century, I think, early 19th century. And basically, there was a cemetery in Paris, and it had become too overcrowded with skeletons, and it was a health hazard. So they had all these old mines beneath Paris, and they took a bunch of the skeletons and moved them there. And you can tell by the way they're arranged that they were meant to be viewed and visited. So it's really kind of interesting. I'll post some pictures that I took at the end of the video so you guys can see it if you haven't heard of it. A lot of people have heard of it too, and tons of people visit it every year. And so these are going to be my tips if you're planning to visit it. So the first tip is one that you will find anywhere if you look up the catacombs, but you should arrive early. And they really mean it when they say this. I went there just about a month ago, and we tried to go 2 separate times. So the first time we tried to go, we intended to get up early and go. I think it opens at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we woke up and we were like, no, we're too tired, we're going back to bed. So we woke up and we actually ended up getting there at 11:30 or so, and it was already a huge line, and this was in March, so not the high tourist season, but there was a huge line. And we were like, well, we're going to be here a couple more days, so we'll just come back on a different day. So we decided to go do something else, and we came back later. The next time we came, we made sure to go earlier. We had a train that arrived in Paris at 9:30 in the morning. So first we had to put our luggage in a locker, and then we went. So we got there around 10:30, I think. And we got there at 10:30, and there was already a fairly big line, but we were determined to go at this point. We wanted to go, and it was our last chance. So we got in line, and it only took about, I think it was an hour and 10 minutes in line. And so it wasn't super bad, but this is also in the off season, so if you can imagine you're going in the summer, there's going to be a ton more people there. And they close at 5 p.m. The last entry is at 4. They close at 5. So I have heard if you go at 2 p.m., you're not going to even get in, so you might not even want to waste your time. So if you're going to go, I would advise going before they open. So if they open at 10, go at 9. Also, logistically, the metro stop that you need to go is Denfert-Rochereau, and I'll write that on the bottom so you guys can see how it's spelled. And the exit you want to take, so when you get to the metro stop, there's usually multiple exits, so you can come up in different streets in the same area. The exit you want to take is the one labeled sortie Tanguy, looks like Tanguy in English, and that's the exit you want to take to get to it. It's not very obvious, the building's really small and not labeled very well, but you'll see the big line, so you know where it is. If you don't see the big line, then it's probably closed. I think it's closed a certain day of the week. You might want to check that out. I forgot to look that up. If I find out, I'll add it right here in text. And yeah, the visit itself takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Depends how fast you go. You can go as slow as you want. You take your time. The next thing I would advise is you wear sensible shoes, because the ground is really uneven and it's dark in there, so you can't always see where you're walking really well. And so you wouldn't want heels. You also have to climb some stairs. You have to go down 120 stairs and then 83 stairs to go up when you exit. So, and it's a spirally stairs, really narrow, so you really want flat shoes to climb in. I would also recommend you bring a light sweater because it's really cold. Not really cold, but it's kind of cold down there. In the summertime, it might be hot outside, and so you might not think it's going to be cold in there, but it's a little chilly. And you can bring a flashlight if you want, because it's really dark in certain parts. And yeah, it's dimly lit, so you might want a flashlight if you want to. I didn't bring a flashlight, and it was fine, but I read that if you shine a flashlight above the skeletons, you can see that they go back super far, so that would be kind of cool to see. And I also saw some kids taking a really cool, creepy picture where they held the flashlight here and it showed their face. Their parents were taking pictures. Next tip is, if you want good pictures, make sure you either bring a flashlight so you can shine it on stuff to take pictures, or make sure your camera works fairly well in the dark, because you're not allowed to use flash for any of your pictures down there. And then Next, you should make sure you read all the info signs because they have, or you can get the audio guide, which will tell you the information, but it costs more. But there's really interesting information on the signs about the history of the catacombs before it was a gravesite and all of that. So that's really interesting. And also, if you read the signs, I was reading some reviews on the catacombs, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, you can touch the bones. It's so cool. You can touch them." You aren't allowed to touch them. There's a sign in French that clearly says, "Respect the dead. Don't touch anything." But if you don't speak French, then I guess you wouldn't know that. So don't be the rude American touching. I mean, why would anyone think that that's okay to touch the remains of somebody in their resting place? Like, that's not okay. Don't be the rude person of any nationality doing that. Like, we don't need people giving Americans a worse reputation on that note anyhow, but like, that's just rude. These are people who are in the resting place. So you should be grateful you're even allowed to come see it because it's pretty rare and pretty cool. Then the next thing, make sure you stay together with your group that you're with because it is dark in there and it's like winding tunnels and it's a resting place, so you don't want to be shouting like, "Hey, Jessica, where are you?" Like, you know. So make sure you like pay attention to where your group is and stay together. And then lastly, you're going to come out somewhere different than you entered. So look that up on a map before you go because you're going to come out somewhere else, not at the entrance. And it's a good several blocks away from where you started. So you walk quite a bit under there. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed going to the catacombs. It was super cool and something you can't see very often. So it's really awesome. And here are some pictures for you guys. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.